why every spiritual seekers need to unlearn all the lessons they have learned in their life. What is the reason? Why? And when we speak about lessons, it's not just the life lessons, but also the lessons they have learned from certain teachers, scriptures, and books. Why? What are the main reasons? We will speak about very interesting reasons with examples in this video. So if you're interested with this topic, stay tuned till the end of the video. Hi, I am Radhika Lakshmanan. I am a karma transformational guide, and I help people to break their negative karmic patterns and heal their emotional wounds using unique hypnosis methods, and I also teach advanced meditation. Now let's start. So, why every spiritual seekers need to unlearn every lessons that they have learned in their life, or every lesson they have learned from others. It could be a spiritual teacher, it could be a psychologist, therapist, coach, anybody, or their own life experience. Why? Now you have to understand one thing. Every life lessons or every lesson we have learned from someone else is just a tool. It's just a tool to connect with our true self, to connect with our higher self, and to embrace our true power, and to be the authority of our life, and to connect with the God's frequency. Okay? And to break the limitation of mind and to break the karmic patterns. So these lessons are not meant to be our main guidebook or set of rules or a lifelong philosophy forever. They are just tools to connect with our higher self, to realize our true power. Because truth is something that we perceive every moment. Truth is not meant to be seen through the lens of our past lessons. We can use those past lessons as a reference point. However, those lessons are not meant to be part of our belief system. We are not meant to look at life through the lens of our past. Why? Because if we make those life lessons or lessons that we have learned from someone else as our main guidebook or set of rules forever, these lessons will become part of our belief system, and it will become our prejudices, our bias. So rather than looking at the life or life problems or situation for what it truly is, we will begin to look at them through the lens of these prejudices, through the lens of our past lessons. What is spiritual path? Spiritual path is about seeking the truth. So if you look at life through your past lessons, through the prejudices of your past lessons, you will not be able to see the truth. You will not be able to see the situation or problem for what it truly is. Instead, you will begin to look at it through the lens of your past experience, past lessons. Your current problem or your current situation might have some similarities with your past problems. However, in reality, it might be totally different from your past situation, from your past problems. So your past lessons might not be applicable for your current problem. But when we make those past life lessons or lessons that we have learned from someone else as our main guidebook or set of rules or lifelong philosophy, we will miss looking at the truth. We will begin to have a narrow perspective. Hence, it will hinder our true spiritual growth and evolution. Similarly, never glorify any expert's advice or suggestion all the time. Never blindly follow any expert's suggestion or advice all the time. While those experts' suggestion might be helpful for certain situation, it might not be effective for some other circumstances, for some other problems. Okay, so sometimes certain advices, certain suggestions that's very popular or widely accepted might not be applicable for our problem or for specific circumstances. Okay, these experts could be anyone, could be a spiritual teacher, spiritual guru, psychologist, therapist, coach, anybody. We can refer to their suggestions. However, at the end of the day, you must be able to connect to your higher self and intuition to make the decision. I will give you more examples shortly. I'll give you a very popular example. So, many therapists, psychologists, relationship coaches usually will advise us to get to know a person for at least 6 months before you get into a committed relationship or a serious relationship with them, or before you decide to marry them. Okay, this is a very popular advice. Am I right? However, personally, I have witnessed several times where people who have got married very fast to their partner, just within few months after they've met each other. I've met people who had love at first sight and got married to their loved one just within few months, who are happily married till now. They are having a very happy, joyful and fulfilling marriage for several decades. They are now over 60 or 70. They are not old grumpy couples who are constantly fighting with each other. No, they are very happy couples. They have a very fulfilling, peaceful and joyful marriage. I've witnessed several people. Usually, people don't encourage love at first sight. Am I right? However, in these people's life, it turned out to be the opposite. It worked for them. So the popular advice, the popular rule was not applicable for these people. I'll give you another example related to career. There is a popular rule which says, never quit your stable job when you want to pursue your passion. So people will usually ask you to pursue your passion on the side while having a stable job. Otherwise, you might end up having no money. They will advise you not to resign your job, or not to quit your job when you're pursuing your passion. Am I right? I do agree with them to a certain extent. Okay? However, personally, I have witnessed several people who have quit their job before they pursue their passion, who are extremely successful right now, who are doing very well right now. The popular advice or rule was not applicable for them. Not just one or two, I've witnessed several people. Now, why does this happen? That's because their higher calling, their intuition wants them to make those decisions. That's the wisest decision for them, for their situation. At that moment, do you understand? I'll give you another example, real life example, where I have met this one person, okay, who have had a bad breakup in their past, around 4 or 5 years ago, okay, and she felt that she had that breakup because she made a hasty choice, because she got into a relationship very fast. She met him, and just within few months, she got into a serious relationship with him. Okay, so this was the lesson that she learned. And then suddenly, after 4 or 5 years, she met a new person, her true love. Her intuition was asking her to immediately bring that relationship to the next level, to commit to that particular person immediately, to bring that relationship to the next level immediately. But she was holding herself back. She was holding herself back from making that decision because she had a bad past experience, bad breakup in the past due to hasty decision. However, the more she was delaying from making that decision, the more she was holding herself back from bringing that relationship to the next level, the more problems began to arise in her life. The moment she decided to bring that relationship to the next level, all those problems just vanished, subsided, just like that. And today she's happily married with that person. It's over a decade already right now. So these popular rules were not applicable for these people because their intuition requested them to make a different decision. Different situation must be approached differently for different people at different time. For this particular lady that I just mentioned, who got into a relationship, who was holding herself back from bringing her relationship to the next level, this particular person was viewing her current situation through the lens of a past experience. She was not looking at her situation for what it truly is, for what it truly was. Hence, she was facing many problems. The current situation of hers, it looked very similar to her past breakup. However, in reality, it was totally different. Her current partner is nothing like her past partner. He's totally different. So it was a wise decision for her. So sometimes when you make a decision, a wise decision from a place of higher consciousness, from your true self, from your intuition, and if that decision goes against the popular rules or popular advice or the societal norms, your loved ones and friends might criticize it. They might assume that you are making a hasty decision because your decision does not follow the popular advice or popular rule. Your decision might be going against the societal norms. So they might end up criticizing you. They might assume that you're making a hasty decision. And they might even compare your decision with somebody else who had made some sort of mistakes in their life. However, it's not the same. Keep following your intuition. Listen to people's suggestion. Nothing is wrong to listen to people's suggestion. But eventually it must be you who make the main decision. Make sure your decision is made from your intuition, not from your ego, not from your emotions. Please know the difference between intuition, ego and emotions. I'll give you another example, a very simple example. Let's say you have a friend and you've caught your friend, this particular friend, lying to you several times. So immediately you've learned your lesson that you should not trust this person. And you were right. And you begin to set boundaries with that person. And that's totally fine. You've done the right thing. Okay? Then one day, this particular friend approached you to warn you about a person in your workplace. Let's call the person Mr. X. They want to warn you about Mr. X. They are telling you that Mr. X has some malicious intentions towards you. Now, if you look at that person, look at this friend through the lens of your past experience, what happens? You will immediately brush off whatever warning that they are trying to give you. You will immediately reject whatever they tell you. You will immediately refuse to believe them and ignore them. And what are the consequences? You might end up getting cheated or betrayed by Mr. X. Am I right? So, how to know if that person, if that friend is telling the truth or telling the half truth or telling a lie? We can only know that when we look at them from the current moment, from the lens of now, not from the lens of our past. And we can only connect to our intuition when we connect to the now. Only when we connect to the now, we'll be able to connect to our intuition, our true self, our divine intelligence within us. Only then we'll be able to see clearly whether the particular friend is telling a truth or telling half truth or telling a pure lie, a blatant lie. Just because the particular friend had lied to you in the past, that does not necessarily mean that the current friend is doing the same right now. That does not mean the friend is lying to you right now. They might be telling you the truth, or they might be telling you half truth. So do you see how looking at life through certain prejudices and life lessons might hinder you from making the wise decision, might hinder your spiritual growth and evolution? Beliefs and assumptions are just ideas, they are not necessarily the truth. Your current situation might have some similarities with your past problems. However, in reality, it might be totally different. You might have to approach that particular situation in that moment from a totally different perspective. The life lessons that you learned 5 years ago might not be applicable for your current situation. Or the lesson that you have learned from certain experts might not be applicable for your current situation. You might have to look at it from a different perspective. Every spiritual seeker's sole purpose, one of the sole purpose, is to seek the truth and to unlearn all the beliefs and lessons that they have learned in their life and connect to the divine intelligence within them and look at life from this moment, from the present moment, from the lens of truth. If you're wearing a spectacles, if it's full of dust, can you see the truth? Can you see your reality clearly? Cannot. Those dust are your beliefs and prejudices. So you have to clean the spectacles to be able to see life clearly. Am I right? And That is one of the reason we have to unlearn every lessons, every moment. Those lessons can be made as a reference point, but they are not meant to be made as our main guidebook or rule book or lifelong philosophy forever. Don't cling on to them. Your higher self, the universe, might require you to make a decision that goes against your past life lessons or goes against some popular advice. So sometimes when you make certain decision from a place of wisdom and intuition, people around you, your loved one, your friends or the society might assume that you are making a hasty decisions or that you are making a compulsive decision or wrong decision simply because your decision does not follow the popular advice or popular rules. Okay? So don't allow those people to brainwash you. You can listen to people's advice. Have an open mind to listen to people's suggestion. But eventually, it must be you who make the final decision. And that decision must be made from your intuition, not from your mind, not from your emotions. How to connect with your intuition? By connecting to the now. By connecting to your body strongly, by connecting to your intuition through meditation. There are multiple techniques out there, okay? We will speak about it in some other video, okay? So make sure that you know the difference between intuition and the ego. We'll speak about it in some other video because this is getting too long, okay? So every spiritual seekers need to constantly unlearn every beliefs or lessons they have learned. Lessons are only tools. They are not meant to be our main guidebook. They are there only to be made as a reference point. So if you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think about this issue in the comment section. Please share it with others. They need to know the truth. Thank you.